It's election day and people all across northeastern and central Pennsylvania are casting ballots, taking on the brunt of long lines and some issues at polling places.
There were some minor hiccups in Lackawanna County earlier this morning. Newswatch 16's Melissa Steininger joins us live with the latest. Melissa.
Yeah, Stacey, a bit of a paper jam causing a stall to some voters here at the polling place on North Kaiser Avenue. But it was just a minor bump in the road today as people cast their ballots, some for the very first time.
As voters turned out to the polls on North Kaiser Avenue in Scranton, long lines were not what was holding up the line, but instead a paper jam.
The voting machine wasn't working, it wouldn't take the ballots, so I didn't want any trouble with anything, so I figured I'd have to come back over.
The judge of elections says the jam was fixed by the county in about a half hour, and it's been smooth sailing since. This is Sharon Smith's second time showing up to the polling place this election day, an inconvenience she says is worth it to ensure her vote is counted.
They said that they were going to insert them manually and take care of it that way, and we were like, no, we'd rather, because we don't want no problems with the voting and the way that it had gone 4 years ago.
While others showed up to vote for the very first time. It's estimated more than 8 million Gen Z voters are eligible to vote for the first time in this election. Samson Rupshis of Scranton being one of them.
I know it's a very important one. A lot of, I don't want to say stakes at it because I don't really know, but it seems to have a lot of effect on people now.
That large number of first-time voters means political campaigns targeted Gen Z hard. Emery Guzman says she feels that pressure.
It's not so much empowered as I felt pushed around, because it's like I can't even go on TikTok. Like normally I just scroll TikTok in like the absent-minded brain rot moment where I'm like doing nothing and I'm like, oh my God, it's so much political stuff going on here.
While Gen Z has been the focus of both sides, these young people say they don't really relate to either side, and that may hinder Gen Z's turnout.
I think moving forward we will, but since this is the first vote and a lot of us don't know like what to do because we don't align with either of them, we're kind of just like sitting it out.
And it has been a steady stream of voters throughout the day here on North Kaiser Avenue. We are expecting that to pick up just a bit as we're going to be seeing that after work crowd in just a few minutes here as they'll be lining up in Scranton. But for now, live in Scranton, Melissa Steininger, Newswatch 16.
Melissa, thank you for that report. There were issues at one polling place this morning in Laughlin. The first votes weren't cast until 8:30 a.m. Newswatch 16's Nikki Kreis explains what happened.
It was a frustrating morning for some voters in Laughlin, which is outside of Wilkes-Barre.
What time did you get here this morning?
6:45.
You waited, what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
My father was the first and I was the second, and just now, I think it's 8:30, we were just able to vote. So it's been about 2 hours.
Instead of 7 a.m., the first ballot was cast at 8:30. According to poll workers, there were multiple issues at this location. The judge of elections was not here to open the polls at 7 o'clock. When things did open, we're told workers were unable to open the scanner, which is needed to scan the ballots. The first few dozen people voted by paper ballot.
I've been voting here since I was able to vote for the first time in 2012, and 12 years later, never had to experience this. Very frustrating.
But hey, it's done. We got it done. And feel good about it.
Over in Dallas, things were running smoothly, but the line was long. Voters did not seem to mind.
This is the only opportunity people actually have the chance to say what they want and what they don't want.
Alda Sutliff moved here from Portugal when she was young and became a U.S. citizen as a teenager.
I've been voting since I was 18 years old. Only for the presidents and some of the locals that I wanted to.
Nikki Kreis, Newswatch 16, Luzerne County.
Because of those issues in Laughlin, a judge issued a ruling giving voters more time to cast their ballots.
From delays in Luzerne County to long lines in the Poconos, Newswatch 16's Emily Kress joins us live with the latest on voter turnout. Emily.
Stacy and Lisa, because of those issues at the poll here in Luzerne County, voters have some extra time to cast their ballot. If you take a look behind me, there's a small line outside of the Laughlin polling location, but their hours have been extended until 9:30 tonight, so plenty of time to still get down here to the polls if you need to cast your ballot in the Laughlin area. But before we made the trip to Luzerne County, Newswatch 16 made our rounds in the Poconos, where we checked in with voters at those different polling locations, and despite the long lines, they say it's smooth sailing and they're happy to be able to pick the next president of the United States. The line to vote at the Ross Township Municipal Building near Saylorsburg stretched down the parking lot. With a line like this and hundreds of voters comes a wait.
2 hours and 25 minutes.
And you even set a timer.
I did. I set my timer.
Some people came prepared with chairs to wait their turn.
4 years ago, we were able to walk right in, so I really didn't know what to expect. But, COVID was kind of in big effect, and a lot of people, I think, mailed in ballots. But I'm really glad that everybody's here in person.
At the northern part of Monroe County in Tobyhanna, it's a similar sight. Voters lined the sidewalk outside of the Mountain Center.
Actually, my first year voting, first time registration, and I guess it's about time. Just looking for a change, and hopefully these next 4 years will bring peace.
Even with big state races on the ballot like Senate and representatives, voters say the main reason they came out was for the presidential pick.
It's important for everybody to vote. It's your time to do your due diligence and elect who you wish to be president.
Voters tell Newswatch 16 since the presidential race only rolls around every 4 years, they want to make sure their voices are heard.
We just wanted to vote and make sure that, we did our part in making sure the right person wins.
Yes. Just doing our part, responsible as Americans. Just come out here and vote and try to change as much as we can.
To make a difference in the world. We need a big change. We need good things to happen, and the only way to make it happen is the votes.
Again, because of the issues here in Laughlin that happened earlier today, voters have until 9:30 tonight to get out to the polls and cast their vote. Emily Kress, Newswatch 16, reporting live in Luzerne County.
Emily, thanks for that report. And if you encounter problems while voting today, there's a state hotline you can call for help. You can report any issues or ask information. That number is 1-877-868-3772.
The race for U.S. Senate here in Pennsylvania is a closely watched one. Democratic incumbent Bob Casey cast his vote this morning at Scranton High School. Casey was first elected to the U.S. Senate in 2006 and is now the longest-serving Democratic senator in Pennsylvania's history.
Republican Dave McCormick is challenging Casey for that seat. This is video from when McCormick dropped off his ballot on October 28th. McCormick is a hedge fund manager who was born in Pittsburgh but raised in Bloomsburg. McCormick was on the ballot 2 years ago, ultimately losing the Republican nomination for Senate.
Another race in our area getting a lot of attention, the contest for U.S. Representative in the 8th Congressional District. Democratic incumbent Matt Cartwright is running for his 7th term. He was also at Scranton High School this morning.
Cartwright's opponent is Republican Rob Bresnahan. Bresnahan runs an electrical contracting company based in Luzerne County. He cast his vote this morning in Dallas.